Pleased to say joining us this morning is the sports broadcaster Natasha Henry to go through the back pages. Natasha, morning, how are you?
Natasha?
Good morning, Nat. Good morning, Cass. How are you guys? I'm good, thank you.
Yes,
good.
We are all well. I think we've I say we, this is me being the England fan, got over what we saw on Friday night, but the papers haven't, of course.
Of course, it's the main conversation at the moment. So we'll start with Harry Kane. The Sun go with Faith Healer - Kane, I'm still a believer. The Sunday Times have Kane, stay calm and we will get better. And the Mirror go with it is coming home. I mean, there's been so much talk about not just England, but Harry Kane, the fact that he was substituted so early in the game. And this is really him. I feel I haven't always been complimentary of him as a captain, but he's really come out and spoke over the past couple of days and said, you know, England can still win this tournament. We realise we've made mistakes. There's a really good quote in The Sun that I think he makes a really good point. He says, if you turn the results around and England had drawn with Croatia and beaten Scotland and still had the same 4 points, no one would be as disappointed with England's performances as they appear to be. I mean, he's really come out and set his stall and said that, you know, we're learning lessons and we're working hard. And, you know, contrary to what Mr. Graham Souness says, that football may still be coming home.
Yeah. Natasha, what interests me is that, you know, what happens is sometimes you'll get, you know, ex-players will speak out and say, yep, Kane could be left out, and there's other people who say it's absolute madness to do that, and which I would be in their camp. I'd still say, for me, Kane is the one that you play. But there is a sort of clamour sort of growing of whether Kane starts or shouldn't be in the team, or, you know, it seems to be a bit conflicting at the moment.
Yeah, I've always had concerns over how quickly he comes back from injuries. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen players come back too quickly and break down so many times. And I think this season, with the COVID situation, the length of games they've had, the amount of games they've had to play over the length of time, a lot of players are struggling. We'll get onto it later, but there's a call to play him and Calvert-Lewin up front and take out one of the defensive midfielders. I don't know what you guys think about that. Would that be the way forward, especially against a team like the Czechs, who are quite, you know, cute, for want of a better word?
Kane certainly needs help, because there isn't enough, you know, production line of players who are doing things that they couldn't get to the byline. And I was talking off air with Natalie and the guys in the production team earlier about, you know, the importance of fullbacks. And our fullbacks, you know, say our fullbacks, England's fullbacks, you know, didn't get forward, didn't get in positions of danger, Reece James especially, and didn't create enough problems for Kane to be able to get on the end of, you know, a chance. It's not like this guy's missed loads and loads of chances and the keeper's pulled off saves. He hasn't had anything to feed off of either.
But he had 7 touches in his 70 minutes. I mean, that feels like, or 7 passes, sorry, in 70 minutes. That's. I mean, I know he's a striker and he's probably going to get the least amount of touches on the pitch. But for someone like Kane, who you expect to be more involved in the game, especially how we've seen him play for Tottenham this past season, that kind of does say that there is a disconnect between him and the midfield, or him and the team in general.
I mean, there is also that issue that we talked about yesterday about him having to drop deep just to get himself on the ball at times, and maybe that's because there is little space for him up front, and teams playing deeper as well, which also leads to less space. I mean, it's an ongoing discussion, isn't it, about the situation with Harry Kane, and something we'll focus on a little bit later on, won't we?
He won't be the only one, that. You know, there'll be other players that, you know, I'm reading the papers this morning, Foden likewise, Natasha, isn't it?
Yes.
You know?
I mean, Wayne Rooney is, I think his column on Foden is very, very you can see that he really watches the game and pays attention to it. So it's Foden is moulded as a City player that doesn't help England. And he just talks about, for the past 4 years, remember, Foden, Pep has always said he's never going out on loan. He's kept him within the City bubble. He's used to playing in a team that has these quick 1-2 passes. You know, you get the ball, you release the ball. He goes to England and it's a completely different setup. And not saying that he's not intelligent enough to change his game, but he's accustomed to playing in a certain way, which is why Rooney's suggesting someone like Grealish looks better for England, because he draws in the defender. You know, he opens up the space, which is maybe something that Foden doesn't do.
I'm not sure about that at all. I think I think Foden can be terrific for England. I think, like I said, also the fullbacks have to have a massive impact. There's nothing worse for a wide man who gets left on a one-on-one or sometimes gets doubled up on and he hasn't got a fullback running beyond him. You know, you need someone to...
You need help of some sort.
Someone to create movement for you to be able to get into scenarios where you can deliver what you're good at. Foden can do that. You know, and I get what Wayne's...
He'll be amazing for England. I don't think Rooney's not saying he won't be amazing for England, but I think he's saying in this tournament situation, maybe Grealish is that better option because, you know, he will draw in defenders and draw the tackle in the same way that Wilshere used to do, which then, you know, may release space for a Kane or a Calvert-Lewin to go and do their thing.
Probably the both of them for me.
Be nice to see that, wouldn't it?
It would be nice to see that. We all agree.
Yeah.